The New Mexico sun hammered down hard on Luke Callahan's worn-out hat as he cast his fishing line into the twisting waters of Creek's Bend River. Calm on the surface, sure, but beneath. The currents were treacherous, ready to drag you under if you weren't careful. Luke liked it that way. Solitude. No prying eyes. No awkward questions about why a 27-year-old cowboy spent his evenings staring into dangerous water. His hands, rough and scarred, trembled just a bit as he reached into his saddlebag for a flask. Just a quick sip to silence the ghost from Gettysburg that still screamed in his dreams. The echo of dying men. The bitter taste of fear and the weight of his brother Tommy's last letter. The one Luke never had the guts to deliver back home in Texas. You know what I mean? Some regrets just don't let go. His red bandana, his mother's last gift before tuberculosis took her, soaked up sweat as he shifted on the rocky bank. Luke had learned to swim right here after Tommy drowned, a guilt deeper than any bullet tearing through flesh. If only he'd been there. If only he'd taught Tommy better. If only. Suddenly, a scream sliced through the quiet. Across the river, near the Silver Creek Lakota camp, a kid was thrashing in the water, fighting the current. Luke dropped his rod without a second thought. Then he saw her, a young woman diving in after the child. The river was a beast, swollen from mountain rains, pulling at her legs, dragging her down just as the child reached safety. Luke didn't hesitate. He kicked off his boots and plunged in, muscles fighting against the cold, murky current he'd studied for years but never truly respected until now. His lungs burned as he searched, following the water's deadly pull. Then, a flash of beaded leather caught on a rock. He grabbed her limp body, pulling her toward the surface. She was unconscious, her face calm despite the trauma. High cheekbones, full lips slack with water. He carried her to shallow ground, panic rising. No breath, lips blue. Not another life lost on his watch. Come on, he whispered, tilting her head back, forcing air into her lungs. One breath, two breaths. Finally, she coughed, sputtered, eyes wide and confused. He held her steady. You're safe now? Luke said, steadying her as she tried to sit up. The kid, did she make it out? A weak nod, her finger pointing to the shore where tribal members gathered. The rescued child was wrapped in blankets. Safe, but all eyes were on Luke and the chief's daughter in the water's edge. Her name was Nolly Skyhawk, 23 years old, Lakota chief's daughter, and right now, staring up at this strange white cowboy who'd just risked everything for her life. She'd never seen anyone with that haunted kindness before, the kind that carried ghosts and pain, but still reached out to save you. Lakota tradition said such a rescue bound their souls together. As Luke helped her to her feet, Naeli felt something shift inside her, not as the chief's daughter or the civilized woman taught by missionaries, but as a person truly seen, truly saved. But they weren't alone. From the shadows of Silver Creek town, Sheriff Eno Duffy watched, his lips curled with contempt. That cowboy just signed his own death warrant. Luke's night was sleepless in the town's only boarding house. His flask was empty, but the memory of those dark eyes in the river wouldn't let him rest. He'd saved her, just like he hadn't saved Tommy. The irony tasted as bitter as yesterday's whiskey. By dawn, he was at Murphy's General Store, tending to a lame horse, the only paying work a drifter like him could scrape together. Murphy eyed him sideways. Heard you went swimming with one of them Indian girls yesterday, he said. Voice low but sharp. Luke's hand froze on the horse's leg. Saved a life. That's all. Murphy shook his head. Sheriff Duffy, don't see it that way. He's been asking questions about you. No family. No roots. Folks around here don't like that. Luke nodded, knowing the sheriff's reputation. A man who wore his badge like a weapon, ruling by fear, not justice. I mind my own business. Well, your business became everyone's business yesterday, Murphy whispered, eyes toward the river where smoke curled above the Lakota camp. That girl you pulled out? Chief Chaz's daughter. Word is she's asking about you. Luke's stomach tightened. He'd come here to vanish, to bury himself in anonymity. But now, attention was the last thing he needed. Across the river, Naeli sat in her father's lodge, her mind churning like the river that almost claimed her. She'd woken before dawn, singing the traditional songs that tied her to her ancestors. But today her voice faltered. Luke's face haunted her. The sadness in his eyes mirrored her own grief. When he breathed life back into her, She felt a connection beyond explanation. The spirits had sent this wounded stranger, a guardian she hadn't expected but now couldn't deny. Her father, Chief Chaza, was wary but wise. The spirits speak through actions, he said carefully. Eyes clouded but steady. They chose this man for you. You will claim him. Naeli's voice held firm. Our souls are bound. I will ask him. The old ways demand it. Meanwhile, Hannah Miller, the town schoolteacher, prepared her classroom with shaky hands. She'd heard the story. Luke's heroics had reached her before breakfast. She'd admired him since he first tipped his hat 6 months ago, recognizing a lonely spirit in a restless drifter. But now she understood better the dangerous politics swirling around Silver Creek. A romance between a white drifter and the chief's daughter could ignite a firestorm that no one wanted. Watching Luke care for the injured horse outside, Hannah's heart broke quietly. She knew this town's simmering tensions all too well. Sheriff Duffy prowled the river crossing like a wolf, his hand never far from his gun. By noon, rumors buzzed like angry bees. By evening, those whispers would fuel a blaze threatening everything Silver Creek had built. But for now, 3 hearts wrestled with a truth none could escape. Some choices can never be undone. Then came the delegation, 3 Lakota warriors on painted horses, faces marked not for war, but ceremony. The lead rider dismounted with grace. It was Naeli, standing in the dusty street, every eye burning into Luke's back. His hammer froze mid-swing. Luke Callahan, she said in clear English, voice steady. I want to speak with you. The crowd held its breath as Sheriff Duffy emerged, hand resting on his gun belt. Luke removed his hat, red bandana suddenly feeling like a noose. I am Naeli Skyhawk, daughter of Chief Chaza, she announced, weight behind every word. Yesterday, you pulled me from the spirit waters. You saved my life. Luke's mouth went dry, sensing Murphy's disapproval from the store. Hannah's heartbreak from her window. I just did what anyone would do, he said softly. No, Naeli said firmly, voice ringing. The spirits chose you. Our tradition binds our souls when a man saves a woman from drowning. You are now my guardian. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Sheriff Duffy's face darkened. Miss, I don't think I claim you as my husband. Naeli raised her chin. Before all here, I choose Luke Callahan to stand with me as partner in life. Silence fell like a heavy cloak. Luke stared at her, the brave woman who just shattered every rule in Silver Creek with 6 words. Danger loomed, but beneath the fear, something stirred, a feeling he hadn't felt in years. Being chosen. Sheriff, Luke said, stepping forward, watch your mouth. Duffy sneered, hand edging toward his gun. Maybe it's time Silver Creek found better company than drifters like you. The crowd murmured uneasily. Luke felt the weight of every judgment but saw in Naeli's eyes a challenge. Choose courage over fear, connection over isolation. I saved her because it was right, he said quietly. If she calls it more, that's between us. Duffy snarled. I won't let this town be torn apart over your foolishness. Pack up and leave tonight. Naeli's voice cut through. He won't go without answering me. Luke Callahan, will you take me as your wife, according to our customs? Will you stand with me against those who would divide us? Luke's throat tightened. Memories of Tommy, the bottles, the emptiness. Then he looked at Naeli, this woman offering a reason to stay, to build, to hope. Naeli, he said, tasting her name. I'm no good man. I drink too much, carry ghosts. But maybe, just maybe, I'm ready. She smiled softly. Broken people heal better together. The crowd shifted, sensing the moment's gravity. Duffy's rage boiled over. This ends now, or I end it myself. That night, under a fire-painted sky, Silver Creek gathered. Chief Chaza spoke solemnly. The spirits have chosen this man. We honor their wisdom. Duffy spat in the dirt, calling it racial mixing and an abomination. Naeli stood tall. Love doesn't see color. I'm educated in your schools, baptized in your churches, fluent in your language. When it suits you, I'm civilized. When it threatens you, I'm savage. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Luke stood beside her. I came to disappear, to drown my past. But now, I'm meant to save something. The sheriff growled, but voices rose in support. Hannah Miller, tearful but brave. Dr. Morrison, speaking of Naeli's care for orphaned children. Duffy ordered Luke to renounce the union or face arrest. Chief Chaza challenged him, invoking treaties. Luke stepped forward. Arrest me for love, if you must. Niallie's prayer rose. Joined by Hannah, Dr. Morrison, the crowd, a song of unity and defiance. Duffy hesitated, then holstered his gun. This union will bring misery, he warned as he left. But as relief washed over Luke and Niallie, a shadow watched. Duffy, ready to call for reinforcements. Weeks later, federal troops arrived. Silver Creek teetered on the edge of change. Luke and Niallie, bound by love and spirit, prepared to face whatever came next. Together, they planned to leave voluntarily, claiming freedom over defeat. Luke read Tommy's long-delayed letter by their cabin fire, words of forgiveness and hope lifting the burden he'd carried too long. Niallie smiled, red bandana tied around her neck, a symbol of love, sacrifice, and new beginnings. Ready? She asked. With you, Luke said, taking her hands. I'm ready for anything. As they walked into the uncertain future, a coyote howled, not a mournful sound, but a wild call recognizing two souls finally finding their true home. Did this story move you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Where are you watching from? Rate it from 0 to 10. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and dive into more stories that remind us sometimes you have to lose everything to find what really matters.